If you are new to my channel, this past year I have lost a total of 60 pounds. If I'm being honest, it took me a long time to figure out exactly how to do it, but I'm happy to say that I finally did. And now I find great joy in sharing my story to help others in a similar position to me. So if you're like me and have struggled to lose the weight, please do not give up hope. Today's video, I'm going to show you 5 weight loss hacks that made losing weight a bit more simple for me, using a very practical approach to weight loss that I still follow even to this day. So let me tell you what I did. Hey everyone, I'm Stasia, and like you just heard, I have had quite the year. I've lost 60 pounds following a whole food plant-based diet this past year, and that is really amazing for me to be able to say that because I've actually struggled with weight all my life. So it wasn't until this past year that I kind of, found my groove, figured out what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and here I am. I will say that this has been the most effortless way I've ever lost weight before, but that also doesn't mean that it's been a perfect journey or always easy with no challenges at all. That would be a flat out lie. I feel like a weight loss journey, there is never really an end in sight. There will always be challenges that come up. Life will always be lifing, and that's just the way it is. So today's video, I'm gonna be sharing 5 simple weight loss hacks that I personally feel helped me so much to get this 60 pounds off, and I'm confident that they can help you too. And I gotta say that there's probably gonna be a couple of them in there that you may have never heard of before, so let's get into it. So the first one that I wanna talk about is something I've talked about very lightly on my channel, but it's intermittent exercising. Now, you are talking to the queen of being lazy when it comes to exercise. I hate to admit it, but it is the truth. I did not exercise at all during my 60-pound weight loss. It is something that I've only recently tried to start incorporating into my life a little bit more because we all know that there's a whole whack of health benefits when it comes to exercising, not even just for weight loss. So very important to get the exercise in. But because it doesn't come very naturally to me, it's not something that I just wake up itching to do or that I'm super excited to do. So it does require a little bit more effort on my part to get myself kind of going when it comes to exercise. So mainly the only thing that I would really hear the most of is just like, find an exercise that you enjoy, do anything to kind of get yourself moving. And while these things are true, it still wasn't enough like practical advice to actually really kind of get me moving. So one thing that I stumbled upon that I have been doing is something that I like to call intermittent exercising. And I know we've all heard intermittent fasting, but this is intermittent exercising. And what I mean is that instead of psyching myself up or building myself up to work out for like an hour straight or 45 minutes or even a half an hour can seem daunting on a day that you really don't feel like doing anything. Instead of doing that, I have broken up my exercise throughout the day. So I've been focusing on doing maybe 10 or 15 minutes, first thing in the morning or right after I've had breakfast. And then if I'm home in the afternoon, I try to squeeze in another 10 or 15 minutes. And then in the evening, I will also try to pop on my walking pad for maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. And before you know it, by the time the day is done, I've actually worked out for a whole 30 minutes to 45 minutes up to an hour without even feeling like I've worked out for an hour. This hack has worked wonders for me. So if you are anything like me and exercise does not, come second nature to you, it does not feel natural, you're not excited to really, hit the gym or throw on one of those HIIT workouts on YouTube or any of the sort, most of us can handle 10 minutes. And I'll tell you what else can handle 10 minutes, our brains. Because honestly, it's more mental than it is even physical for most of us when it comes to exercising or not exercising. So if you can get out of your own way, tell yourself, I can do 10 minutes, you're gonna be golden. So I would try giving intermittent exercising a try. Okay, so the next hack I'm gonna talk about is one that I know you haven't heard before unless you're a follower of mine already, and that is drink your beans. Yeah, just stay with me on this one. If you're new here, trust me, I have something important to say about that. So actually all along my 60-pound weight loss, I was drinking my fiber protein shakes, and these are shakes that I specifically designed to keep me full. So they are a little bit more on the calorie dense side purposely because I use them as a meal replacement. And one of the best things you can be eating when you're trying to lose weight are beans. Why? Because beans are full of both protein and fiber. So those are the two things that are crucial to keeping you feeling full. And that's everything when we're trying to lose weight. So when I drank these shakes, it actually prevented me from snacking in between because I often felt pretty full and just, felt good in general because they taste really good. And secondly, because of the beans, they regulated my blood sugar, so I always felt nice and even, no like high and low crashes. as well as they kept me full. And I talk a lot about this on my channel because while potatoes, are kind of screamed from the mountaintops in this way of living that they're the most satiating food in the world, which they have been ranked that, I will argue that beans actually kept me fuller longer. And now I know that beans can be a little bit hard for some people to tolerate, digestively speaking, and if that is you, then my advice would be to go really slow because you don't want to overburden an already compromised gut. And there was a time that I couldn't even have a tablespoon of beans without being bloated, without feeling nauseous. Like I could not tolerate them at all. And here I am now able to digest up to a cup of beans and I don't even have any gas. And that is no joke at all. But that also has to do with the way that I prepare them. And if you want to find out how I prepare them, I will leave this video in my description box below. But I really believe that because I cook them this way, I don't have any gas, I don't have any digestive issue at all when it comes to beans. I stopped using cans and I make them this way. So at any rate, having beans every day is coming from someone who used to not be able to tolerate them, and I can now. I drank a shake every day for breakfast, and I'm telling you, it was one of my top contributors to being able to get this weight off. And by the way, these shakes are not some nasty bean shakes, mixed in with some greens and water, and I don't know what you might be imagining now, but believe me when I tell you, they're delicious. I created 22 different flavors that have, vanilla birthday cake, chocolate brownie, Snickers, coffee crisp, blueberry banana. I have tons of different flavors and all of them taste delicious and you cannot taste the beans at all. So for me personally, it was hands down the easiest and best way to get my beans in every day without even really knowing that I'm getting my beans in every day. So if you want to stay full longer and try to cut down on some of your snacking, drink your beans. All right, so the third hack that I did all the time, and I still try to remember to do this.
Okay, so before I tell you what that third easy hack is, I'm just going to take 30 seconds to tell you about my crazy sale that you might be interested in hearing about. So because my shakes helped me so much to lose weight, I want them to help you too. I literally had one of these shakes almost every day when I was losing the 60 pounds. They're easy to make, taste delicious, will keep you full, and are a complete meal. And you cannot taste the beans. Right now it is on sale for only $4 for the next 48 hours only. And if you're looking for a little bit more support, you can check out my new Ask Me a Question packages. Both my books and the packages can be found in the description box below.
All right, so the third hack that I did all the time, and I still try to remember to do this, is to preload before your meals. This is crucial because let me tell you, when you are super hungry, you naturally just want to grab the densest, most calorie-rich foods you can think of to just, kill off that hungry feeling and feel satiated and, have all be well in your world again. So if we can just take 5 seconds out, time out, before jumping to that point and just fill up on lower calorie dense foods before eating the higher calorie dense foods, you are going to save yourself so many unnecessary calories. And in other words, it's going to help put you and keep you in a calorie deficit to actually lose the weight. When you are really hungry, it's so important to take the edge off before you sit down to eat your meal. It's no different than going to the grocery store on a super empty stomach and you're feeling hungry. Everything is going to be tempting. Everything is going to look delicious. Even stuff that you don't normally eat might look delicious. We know how that can be when we're hungry. So if you can think of it in those terms, you're going to help yourself a lot when it comes to sitting down to your meals. Don't sit down to your meal when you're starving, when you forgot to bring something for lunch, when you didn't bring a snack to, get you to your next meal. Don't sit down to eat that way. Make sure that you fill up on some fruit, which I eat all the time, or some non-starchy veggies, even if it's just cutting up a cucumber and eating that with a little salt and pepper. You would be surprised that by snacking on something that's lower calorie dense, preferably has a high water content, how that's going to take the edge off and you're not going to end up eating as much of those higher calorie, higher dense foods. One of the best ways you can preload, in my opinion, is with a non-starchy soup. It's even better than preloading with a salad for 2 reasons. One, oftentimes when we are following an oil-free, low-fat, plant-based diet, dressings can be a buzzkill. They just can. So when you remove the fats from a dressing, they're not quite as delicious as when we have the fats in there. And I find that that can be a deterrent for some when it comes to eating salad. Another reason is because soup has a high water content. So the water in that soup is going to do a really great job at filling up your belly, helping to take that edge off before you sit down to eat your main meal. All right, so the takeaway is don't sit down to eat your main meal when you could eat your own arm at that point. Make sure you eat something that's lower calorie dense, preload before sitting down to your main meal. You are going to thank me later because this is almost like magic when it comes to trying to lose weight. Okay, so the fourth hack is purposely make leftovers. Now, this is a little bit different than meal prepping because there's an intentional meal prep that we can do to, have our meals all ready for the week and all of that. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just saying to make a little bit extra of whatever you're making that day and your future self is going to thank you. That's honestly something that I try to do, and I even talked to my husband about him doing it too for like his work lunches and stuff like that, because you're already in the kitchen, you're already dirtying the dishes, you've already got, all your vegetables out, whatever you're using to prep those vegetables. So it's like, it really doesn't take that much more effort just to make a little bit more because you're making it anyways, right? So this is an awesome like time-saving hack as well as a food prep hack without actually having to do a food prep. This hack has worked wonders, and I am a huge leftovers fan. Like, I am so thrilled when there's something yummy that I already made and I don't even have to think about it for that night. So if you're not someone who loves meal prepping, then forget the meal prep. Just make a little bit extra when you're making your dinner and you're gonna be so happy that you did. Okay, so my last hack kind of ties into that one, and that is to freezer prep your meal prep. And that is a mouthful to say, but that's basically what it is. So when you do make a little bit extra when you're making your dinner, or let's say you are a meal prepping type of person, instead of eating the same thing day after day, even when it comes to your leftovers, instead of eating the same pot of soup for 3 or 4 days in a row, some people can do it and they're okay with it. But if you're someone who does need a little bit more variety and that just kind of puts you off to eat the same thing every single day, throw it in the freezer, baby. That is where it's at. I have actually recently bought myself a deep freezer for this very reason. I have been loving freezer prepping my food. So even when it comes to my fiber protein shakes I was talking about earlier in this video, I make my beans, I prep my shakes, I have them in the freezer ready to go. It saves so much time, I can't even stress it. It has been a game changer for me. So when it comes to meals, the same thing. I love it because you don't have to worry about, how long can this sit in the fridge before it's going bad. There's so many things when it comes to rice, even about, eating day old rice, to do it, to not to do it. Like, there's so much stuff. So for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw it in the freezer. That way, A, I know that it's probably safer in terms of preserving it, and B, I can take it out as I like, so I don't have to be forced to eating the same thing every single day. And I'll tell you what, I end up always enjoying it so much more when it's like a week later, 3 weeks later, even a month later. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, I am so craving this soup right now. Whereas maybe if it was the very next day or the day after that, maybe not the same vibe. So freezer prep your meal prep. You will save so much time. You will have delicious meals already ready to go, which helps to keep you stay on track and keep you consistent, which is everything when you're trying to lose weight. All right, everyone, so those are my 5 hacks that helped me lose 60 pounds. There's still 5 hacks that I try to stick to as best as I can, even now. I find that they are practical, they're useful, they're easy enough, and they actually make a difference. So if you're struggling on your weight loss journey, I highly recommend even trying a couple of those and seeing if that can make any difference. If you found any value in today's video, I'd love for you to give this video a big thumbs up for me. Also, if you're new to my channel and you're also on a health and weight loss journey, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel because my channel is all about health and weight loss following a whole food plant-based diet. So be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. And if you've made it to the end of this video with me, then I have a bonus for you. To the first 5 people who go down in my description box right now and click the link to my books, you will be receiving a free copy of my Shake Off the Weight ebook that I was talking about earlier in this video. And even if you're not one of the top 5, right now I'm running an insane holiday special on that book because I truly am a strong believer that getting more beans in your diet will help you stay full and help you to get this weight off. I am running an amazing sale on that book right now. It is literally about 1/3 of the original price, and it's never been this low before. And I'm running this holiday special because with the new year coming around the corner, I know a lot of you are going to be getting amped up to kind of, kick things into full gear. And I'm telling you, I really truly believe that getting beans in your diet is the way to go when you're losing weight. And these shakes, hands down, were the easiest way for me to do that. So I don't want cost to be an issue. So if you want to check out that book, be one of the first 5 people and you will get it for free. Otherwise, it's on sale for only $4 right now, along with a ton of other amazing sales on my books and bundles. So you don't want to miss this holiday special. The link can be found in my description box below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we will see you guys in the next one.